the strongest and most sinister power in the east, Assyria devours every nation that stands in its way. It treats its captives harshly by cutting off their limbs, ears, noses, and lips, and forces them to do hard labor. Enemy soldiers are routinely blinded, have their tongues torn out, are skinned, burned alive, or impaled on stakes. Few nations dare open defiance of Assyria. Hezekiah, king of Judah, rebels against Assyria by refusing to pay their high taxes. In response, King Sennacherib attacks Judah after he has destroyed the northern kingdom of Israel. King Hezekiah tries to appease him by sending large amounts of gold and silver to Sennacherib. But Hezekiah is shown no mercy. City after city within the borders of Judah falls to Assyrian cruelty, and soon the only remaining city is Jerusalem. Inscribed on the ancient Sennacherib prison, discovered in 1920 by archaeologists in Mosul, Iraq, King Sennacherib tells us in his own words what he has done. Because Hezekiah, king of Judah, would not submit to my yoke, I came up against him, and by force of arms and by the might of my power, I took 46 of his strong fenced cities, and Hezekiah the Judahite I shut up in Jerusalem, his royal city, like a caged bird. Before Sennacherib had reached Jerusalem, Hezekiah realized that the city's western hill lay unprotected and vulnerable, and ordered the building of a massive wall. Homes were torn down to make way for this wall and to provide building materials. Jerusalem's main water source, the Gihon Spring, also needed protection. If this was not done, their enemies could block the spring, depriving the whole city of water. Hezekiah's bold plan was to build a tunnel and divert the spring nearly a quarter mile. Under the foundations of the city, workers began digging at each end of the proposed tunnel through solid rock, and completed their amazing project before Sennacherib arrived. Jerusalem's walls and water supply were secure. As the Assyrian army arrives in Jerusalem, Judah's annihilation seems certain. The supreme commander approaches the wall of the city to meet with Hezekiah's officials and reads a letter from Sennacherib in a loud voice so the people on the wall can hear, hurling insults at Hezekiah and the God of Israel. When the king hears about this, he tears his clothes, enters the temple, and spreads out the threatening letter before God. The king cries out to God, saying, "Incline your ear, O Lord, and hear. Open your eyes, O Lord, and see, and hear the words of Sennacherib, which he has sent to reproach the living God. Now therefore, save us from his hands, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that you are the Lord God, you alone." That night the angel of the Lord is sent out, and in the morning the mighty Sennacherib wakes to find that 185,000 of his soldiers died during the night. He abandons his siege of Jerusalem and returns to Assyria. Not long afterwards, Sennacherib is worshipping in the temple of Nisroch, his god, when two of his sons strike him down with the sword and kill him, and his son Esarhaddon reigns in his place. And so, what God said through the prophet Isaiah comes to pass. The king of Assyria shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return. For I will defend this city, to save it for my own sake, and for my servant David's sake.